Pretty exciting stuff, right? Even more exciting than Jamie, though, is of course the animal that is with him, and that is Zola. Does anyone have any idea what kind of animal Zola is? I want you to shout out what you think.
Adorable.
Adorable. I love that answer. Becca, what do you think?
I say it all the time. They're
Aardvark,
probably
I think I heard Aardvark over
tired
here.
of me.
All right, we got a pretty smart crowd today. Yeah, you guys are right. This is an aardvark. Now, was anyone out there thinking anteater possibly? Was anyone out there like, I have no idea what that animal is? Yeah, that's fair. Well, yeah, anteater is actually a very common guess when we bring out one of our aardvarks. And in fact, there's this really fancy term out there. It's called convergent evolution. Yeah, it's Jamie's favorite word, I think. Yeah. There's a good one. Basically, all that means is that there are animals found in completely different parts of the world that have no relationship to one another whatsoever, but they fill the same niche in the areas that they live, and they have very similar adaptations or attributes. So while anteaters are going to be found out in Central and South America, aardvarks are going to be found out in Africa, and more specifically, the sub-Saharan region of Africa. Now, typically, aardvarks are going to be a nocturnal animal.
Open this.
So pop quiz. If they're nocturnal, when are they most active?
At night.
At night, that's right, exactly. During the nighttime, they're going to be the most active. But during the daytime, they're actually going to be hanging out in burrows that they've dug themselves.
Hold it at the top.
And so they're going to, nighttime hits, right? They're going to pop those heads out of those burrows. They're going to take a really good sniff around. Notice I didn't say look. Yeah, their eyesight is not their best feature. If you were to take goggles, smear Vaseline all over them, and put those goggles on and try to walk around, it's kind of like what an aardvark sees. So if you notice, Zola here is sticking pretty close to Jamie. She's relying a lot on that sense of smell and their hearing. My friends up front here, I'm so glad you're so excited to see an aardvark. If you would like to grab a seat where it's dry so that everyone behind you can also see, because she's a little short to the ground, a little bit there. She has those tall ears, but sometimes she's hard to see. But you're welcome to come up closer if you'd like, but you can just grab a seat where it's nice and dry there. Perfect, thanks guys. Awesome, so where were we? Right. They have a really good sense of smell and really good hearing. So you'll notice Zola's nose is constantly moving as she's walking around on stage. All right, so they pop those heads out of those burrows. So actually, let's go back. I kind of missed something that I want to talk about. So during the daytime, they're going to be in those burrows, right? What are some reasons they might want to be underground out in the middle of Africa? Is there any guesses? No guesses?
Too hot.
What was that?
Too hot.
It is too hot, yes. It can get very hot out in Africa. So being underground, they're staying nice and protected from the sun. What else might they be protected from? I know you guys know this one. Lions, right? Predators. We have all sorts of predators out in Africa. Cheetahs, exactly. You got lions, you got cheetahs, you got hyenas, wild dogs. Even young aardvarks have to be careful of pythons, believe it or not. Yes, exactly, a snake. You got it. So whenever they come out at night, they're gonna sniff around for those predators, make sure none of those guys are around. And then once they know when the coast is clear, the first thing they do when they wake up, what do you guys think it is? Tigers. I don't think it's tigers. What do you guys think they're gonna do when they wake up?
Yawn.
Yawn. Yeah, they have a very cute yawn, I'm not gonna lie. But then it's time for breakfast, right?
We talked about that earlier.
Now their breakfast might look a little bit different than ours. How many of you out there are eating a bowl of bugs for breakfast? Jamie is. We got a few hands. Good source of protein, that's right. Yes, these guys, they are insectivores. Now, out in the wild, they're gonna be looking for these termite mounds. So these structures are usually pretty tall. And what the aardvark is going to do is they're going to come up to them and they're going to sniff around. They're going to feel with their nose hairs for the activity inside. And then they're going to use those really impressive nails to actually break into these almost concrete-like structures. That's right, these are tough, but the aardvark is tougher. So they're gonna break into them, and then they have a very special tool to get those bugs out of there. And Zola's gonna show you kind of what that looks like. All right, here we go. Pay attention. If you can see over there, this is pretty impressive stuff.
Her daughter sometimes will stick her tongue through the open
Can you guys
holes
see over here what
where
she's
there
using
aren't
to get
food.
those bugs out? I think I heard it out there. Yeah, she is using her tongue, right? Now, I will say while she's enjoying her bugs right now, she's not actually getting termites out of those mounds. Our neighbors would not be too happy with us if we were feeding live termites to our very messy aardvarks. Instead, she is getting some delicious live wiggly mealworms. And our nutrition team is amazing and have found that mealworms are a great substitute for those termite mounds. All right, so we want to give you a better look at that tongue. And in order to do that, we always have to carry our portable termite mounds with us, right? Next time someone's gonna have one, I know it. Yeah. All right, so this tube is about the standard length of a ruler. And you guys, this is the best part of the presentation. So get ready for this. All right, here we go. Zola, are you ready? There it is. That tongue is about 11 inches long. We gotta get every last worm out of there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, we'll do it one more time over here. But before we do that, I gotta show you guys this. All right, we're gonna reload this tube right here. Now take a look at that. You guys see that? Those worms are now stuck to the inside of this tube. And that is because aardvarks have an incredibly sticky saliva. They're eating about 50,000 bugs in a single day. Imagine picking up 50,000 bugs one at a time. That's not very convenient, right? But with that super sticky saliva, all she has to do is just tap her tongue to those bugs and then slurp them right up. Delicious. Now I'm lucky I got to use this tube. Jamie here, he has been hand feeding Zola. Yeah, that super sticky saliva is all over Jamie's hands. And he is ready for high fives after the show if anyone wants them. Right up front here. No high fives today. All right, well, Zola is doing such a wonderful job. We're going to give her the opportunity to forage a little bit more in this much smaller termite mound. And I do want you guys to pay attention to a couple of things. You are all good. As Zola is eating, you might have noticed a couple of things. And as she's over here, take a look at what her ears and her eyes are doing. Of course, when I say that, that's when she's going to hide her face. Here we go. Now you might notice those ears are turning backwards, and as she's eating, her eyes are closed. So let's start with those ears. Why do you think she might be turning her ears back as she eats? Any guesses? What do you think? So termites don't get in her ears. That might be one reason. What else might she be doing? Right up here. What do you think? Yeah, exactly. They do have very thick skin to help with bug bites. That's a good point. Yes, so their ears are turning back. It helps to keep bugs out, but it also helps to listen behind them, right? So they're listening that nothing sneaks up as they're enjoying their delicious meal. Now, we kind of already guessed this, but why do you think they close their eyes? You said it back there. What do you think? Did you say so bugs don't get in their eyes? That's it. Exactly. You guys, believe it or not, termites do not like to be eaten. They're going to fight back. So by closing their eyes, they're able to keep bugs out of their eyes. They're also able to close off those nostrils so no bugs go up their nose as well. They're pretty well adapted for eating those things. Now, like I mentioned earlier, these guys do actually dig burrows, and they're very impressive. They're about 6 feet deep and 40 feet wide. To put that into perspective, that's about the size of a school bus. And they don't just dig one burrow in their life. They're actually going to be digging multiple burrows throughout their lifetime, maybe to get away from those predators, find a new food source. But as they leave those old burrows behind, other animals will actually come in and take over those abandoned aardvark burrows. They've seen things like wild dogs and pangolins, which are endangered animals, taking over these burrows. So they're kind of building homes for endangered animals out there. And so we kind of have coined a phrase for these guys. It's very important. They are the aardvark attacks of Africa. Yes, thank you. Thank you. The first time I got a clap for that one.
Jamie has a better delivery on the dad jokes
But in
though.
all seriousness, they are kind of conservationists. And that's what we're all about here at the San Diego Zoo is conservation. We actually work with researchers around the world in different hubs to help out animals. Out in the Savannah hub where you'll find aardvarks, they're actually doing pretty okay out there. But other animals like rhinos, giraffes, they do need our help. And whether you knew it or not, by being here today, you're actually supporting those conservation efforts. So I want to give a huge thank you to all of you for being here today. But in order to, yes, you know what, give yourselves a round of applause. You deserve it. Great job, you guys. But I think in order to say a proper thank you, I actually need the help of a volunteer. Anyone feeling brave? You know what? You've been answering so many of my questions so well. Yes, right there with the California sweatshirt. Come on up here. And if there's someone in your group that wants to come up and take pictures up here, you're welcome to come a little closer. All right. Okay. And what's your name? Ben. Nice to meet you, Ben. Now, do you have any idea what you just volunteered to do? No. This is the best part, you guys. All right, what if I told you you are about to have a bug eating contest with Zola? Okay, yeah, all right. You see, I have this too. We have mealworms in there for you. Now, do you think that's enough mealworms for you today? You're right, we need more. Yeah, hold on. Don't worry. I've got more. There we, ooh, yeah, that's good. Do you see that they are alive and wiggling around in there? Yeah. You ready to eat some bugs? No? Are you sure? You just gotta take this, you just gonna go straight back. I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna make you eat any bugs. What if I told you instead you're gonna have the opportunity to come up and meet Zola? How does that sound? Very good, all right, you're gonna take this tube, you're gonna hold it perfect. That hand, hold on nice and tight. Then you're gonna come in and put your feet against the bottom of this curb right here, okay? Then you're gonna stand just a little over this way and you're gonna hold the tube out right here. Zola is going to come up, we're gonna put it right there. She's gonna start, put her feet right here and start eating from that. As she does that, feel free to touch her on her back, okay? You ready? Here she comes at full aardvark speed. Yeah, that's about full aardvark speed right there. All right, touch her right on her back. Make sure you smile for the camera. There we go. Great job. She's a nice and slow eater. I'm gonna put a few more bugs in there for you and make sure you give her a good pat on her back, see what she feels like, okay? There we go, perfect. This is Zola's favorite part too. She just gets to sit there and eat bugs.
Yum, yum, yum.
Perfect, I'll get that tube from you. Now before you walk away, I do have to ask, how does she feel? What did she feel like to you? Kind of soft, but also scratchy. That's a very good description. We've had people compare her to kind of feeling like a kiwi fruit or a coconut. But I think my favorite answer so far, we had a little girl come up. We said, how does Zola feel? And she said, happy. It was very cute. All right, well, thank you, Ben, so much for joining us. I do have a sticker for you for being so brave. It has an aardvark right there. And everybody, let's give it up for Ben today for being such a brave volunteer. Let me get this for you. Got it? All right. Perfect. Thank you. All right, at this part of the presentation, Zola might decide to hang out a little bit longer, or she might decide it's time to go home and go to bed. I wouldn't blame her for that. But if anyone has any questions about aardvarks or Zola, I'd be happy to try to answer them at this time. Yes, right here.
Do you just have one aardvark at the zoo here?
Do we just have one aardvark at the zoo here? We actually have 3 aardvarks. Zola here is one of our females. We also have Azan, our male, and Azan came here with a very specific purpose, and that was to be with Zola as part of our species survival plan and to have a baby. And you know what? He was very good at his job, because about 3.5 years ago, we had baby Nandi born here, the first aardvark born here since the 1980s. So we're very proud of our aardvark. Zola here was a great mother as well. So thank you for asking such a great question.
Hi, Jamie.
How long have we had Zola? So Zola, I believe, is about 8 or 9 years old, and she came here when she was very young. So she's been here almost her whole life, so probably about 8 or 9 years. Exactly, she came here when she's probably a little under 1 year old. All right, it looks like she's decided to go back home, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off my microphone, but I'll be on stage for a little bit longer. If anyone else thinks of any questions, feel free to come on up. But on behalf of the San Diego Zoo, thank you so much for joining us today, you guys, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye, folks.